Hey Mung Beans. I'm Joey.
I'm Ashley.
And this is Wine Time Mysteries.
If you're into true crime,
And if the paranormal gets your nips hard,
then this is for you. But before we get started,
make sure to follow us on Spotify and stalk us on Insta and TikTok.
or send your inquiries to winetimemysteries@gmail.com, and we promise to at least try to get back to you.
Lego! Warning, today's episode contains graphic content that may not be suitable for people under the age of 18. If you are considered a minor, exit stage left. Please consult your GP before listening to this podcast. Thanks, bitch. I love snakes.
Yeah, you do, don't you? All kinds of snakes.
Shut the fuck up.
What does this podcast do to me? Every time I talk about it, it's not the podcast. It's me.
It's
Who
you.
am I kidding? It's not the podcast.
Who are you
no.
playing?
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
It's my butt.
Can you tell your flaps to be quiet, please? Because I came here to talk about murder.
All right. Well, if we're here to talk about murder, who are we talking about this week?
Today, it's about the Sharp family murders.
Huh. I don't think I've heard about
Have you heard this one? It's
No.
another Australian one. Because, I like talking about Australia. So, John Miles Sharp was born on 28th of February 1967 in Mornington, a suburb of Melbourne, Victoria. Do you know where that is?
I do, actually.
Oh, yeah. So, for the people who don't know, it is located about 57 kilometres south of Melbourne's central area. So it's just like a nice place by the water. His parents were Valerie, I think it's Valerie, I put an E, Valerie, and Miles Sharp. And they also had 4 daughters, as well as John, and then they ended up having another son later on. Don't know his name or their name. He was quoted as being a loner and just having a mediocre life. Nothing notable. He completed year 12 but didn't appear to get like a degree or whatever 12 thing was at the time, It was said he lacked emotional intelligence and didn't know how to face his own problems, so to say. After he finished school, he got a job at the Commonwealth Bank of Australia.
Ooh, I used to be a banker.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that he worked at a bank. The thing that was really annoying about this, obviously I've just gone, he's finished high school, now he's working at the Commonwealth Bank. I couldn't find a lot of info prior, any places he worked or anyone he dated in around that time from whatever. I couldn't find it. Super annoying. Don't know why. So it looked like he started at the bank at around when he was 26 years old, so in 1993, where he would meet his future wife, Anna Kemp. Super cute. So Anna Marie Kemp was born in 1963. Also super annoying. I looked everywhere and couldn't find a lot of background on her, like the actual day she was born or the year. Don't know why. I looked everywhere. But, fun fact for you, and hopefully I say this right, she was born in New Zealand and Dunedin was named a former home. So I can only assume that is where she grew up. And I saw you nodding your head. I said it right. Dunedin.
A lot of people call it Dunedin.
Oh, even I didn't do that.
No, and that's why I nodded, because I was...
Dunedin.
I didn't know if it was going to be like a super traditional place like Whangaparoa or...
Sorry, one more time.
Whangaparoa.
Yeah, whereas I'm like Whangarea.
Which is a different place altogether.
Oh, okay, well,
and that's
what else?
Whangarei, but close.
Potato. So Dunedin is a city in New Zealand, South Island, and it's described as being a city rich in heritage, and it's known for its wildlife and quirky character. Did we go there when we travelled last time?
Dunedin, no. Do you also know another interesting little fact who actually named New Zealand?
Who?
The Dutch. Boom.
I didn't know that. I love New Zealand. It's so beautiful. You must travel.
Do it when it's okay to do it.
Yeah, when you can, if we ever can again.
Post-COVID,
So, as I said earlier, John and Anna met while they were working at the bank and would marry around a year later in October 1994. So, once again, couldn't find a lot of info from around 1994 to 02. Which is super frustrating because once I dive into a case, I want to dive in and I want to know everything. I did find in one article, and I just wanted to mention, even though I don't know how legit it is, but apparently after the wedding, it was mentioned. So after the wedding, it was mentioned to one of Anna's family members that she was quoted as saying, "I think I've made a mistake marrying him," and apparently there was just no passion or love.
Scandal.
No.
Escándalo.
Thank you. I mean, given how he was spoken about being a loner and such, and you've seen photos of him, because I couldn't not show you, but he doesn't look like he'd give you a good dickin'. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome. You weren't expecting that.
No.
But you saw that his photo, right? He looks like a crier. Like he's going to come and then cry and apologise. And you're going to need a vibrator and a lot of other stuff to get your pleasures out of life when you see a photo of him. Now, in August 2002, they welcomed a baby girl named Gracie Louise. Super cute name, right?
That's cute, but she wanted to leave him, yet she... Okay.
Yeah. Well, we don't know.
Because that could have been after.
Yeah. Well,
And we don't know if that was actually said.
legit, yeah. I just kind of wanted to put it in there because I can. Because I do what I want.
Cute.
Can I just say she's the cutest little thing. I haven't shown you photos of her, but I'll show you photos of her afterwards. She was born with a condition called hip dysplasia. I think that's how you say it. Which I'm sure you know what it is, but it essentially means the bones of the hip joint aren't aligned correctly and affects plenty of children at birth and is more common in females apparently. That sucks. So obviously tests, surgery, that kind of thing are on the cards. I can only imagine how hard it would have been having a newborn and then also one that is in pain because of the condition, needs treatment, so much extra stress. It was said she had to have a corrective harness on for the first 3 months of her life and had difficulty sleeping and would just be fussy and upset all the time, which I do not blame one bit. Have you seen the pictures of what the harness is for babies?
I have.
So fucked. Like how
They're messed up.
would you keep your newborn in that? Like as in, because babies are always like moving and stuff like that and they wouldn't know what it is, you know what I mean? You know? As I said before, a newborn can already put strain on a relationship and then add this into the mix and even less sleep. It was quoted that even after Gracie didn't need the harness anymore, it was said she still had difficulties feeding and sleeping, and Anna sought professional help for this as well. Now, I'm going to jump to November 2003. Gracie is about 15 months old, and Anna finds out that she is pregnant again.
No.
Yeah, she shares the news with John, who was not impressed, as, listen to this, being the doting dad he is, he saw Gracie as a burden, and in his mind, one was enough. So he started to resent Anna and the unborn child pretty much. Yeah. I don't know if it's...
Was abortion legal in Australia at that time? Do we even know?
I don't know. But from what I can hear, Anna is a very loving, you know what I mean? Like
She's maternal.
Yeah, and it sounded like he wanted a child, but maybe because Gracie had these problems, and it was not problems, but conditions, and it was just extra stress, maybe. I mean, you can also argue, was she trying? Had he told her before and he didn't want another? Like, was she trying to get pregnant without him knowing? Was it just another accident? Like, there's heaps of things. But if you are going to have sex, then man up and look after your child. Unless you go get the snip, you have the possibility of getting a woman pregnant.
Yeah, but I can almost guarantee that he wasn't wrapping it up.
No. And can I just say, because I'm going to do it again, it's not always on the female to have to change their whole body cycle, what have you, so that a man, no offense, doesn't have to worry about wearing a condom or pulling out. Class is now over from Ashley's One Time University. Men can get multiple women pregnant. A woman can only get pregnant, once? I don't even know if you can fall pregnant straight after having one. To me, the guys should have the protection, because you can be fucking anything that walks and getting everyone pregnant.
After you just pushed a watermelon-sized human out of your hoo-ha, you're not looking for anything to go straight back into that until it's healed.
No, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
You?
No.
Oh,
God, no.
There are people that, women, they're like, fucking get it in me.
On Monday, 21st of March 2004, the Sharp family attended a family picnic to celebrate someone's birthday. Don't know whose. Don't really care. Sorry.
Oh.
It was quoted that nobody noticed any tension or anything like that. Apparently on the day, John appeared to be a doting husband, a family member would later say. So also bearing in mind, Anna would be around 5 months pregnant at this time, so halfway there, and she was excited, and it actually would be a baby boy who would later be named Francis. The following morning, 22nd of March, Anna takes Gracie to daycare and made plans to meet up with a friend in a few days. The last interaction she had with anyone other than John was the following day. She called her private health cover about adding their unborn baby to her account. Now, on the night of the 23rd of March, I'm saying these dates because we're going to go back to them later, Anna and John had a heated argument even before going to bed around 9 to 10 p.m. Anna quickly fell asleep while John stayed up brooding over the argument and his marriage and I guess just the looming reality of another baby being on the way. So because I'm a little bitch, we're going to jump to the following morning. So we're now on the 24th of March.
Why does that make you a little bitch?
Because I'm a little bitch, all right? Now, John takes Gracie to daycare and also collects her at the end of the day. Now, funny, not funny, John starts making comments, apparently, that Anna has run off with another man. So I don't know if it's because normally Anna would take Gracie and it was rare for John to go, but who knows? Like, to me, that's someone's asked you a question. Also a weird thing, he lied to a TV serviceman who had actually come to their house to fix something that Anna had organised earlier. Not on that day, but like, you know.
Around that time.
Yeah. Anyway, on the evening of March 27th, so 3 days after we last spoke about, John was said to have been relaxing that evening, drinking a lot of whiskey before heading into his daughter's room. Now, I'm going to leave it here. No, not really, but kind of. Yeah. He's flailing his arms around.
Because I don't like what my head is doing.
Yeah, I thought I'd do that because it's a bad one. And it's not funny, but I just want to get a reaction out of you. Wish you could see his face. Now, as I said earlier, John started telling everyone this elaborate tale about Anna leaving him for another man. Because obviously we haven't spoken about Anna since, the 23rd? And we're now on the 27th, so 4 days so far. So her mother is calling and her friends are as well, and he's just giving them this tale. Oh, she's left me for another man. Now, one thing he did mention was that he was expecting Anna to return on the Sunday, which would be the next day, to pick up baby Gracie. So throughout all of this time, as I said earlier, the family is getting a bit worried because they started also receiving emails from Anna's account to her family claiming she was happy, safe, and pregnant by a new man. Does that sound like Anna from what I've said? No. So trying to cover whatever has gone on, you see.
Cover-ups.
It was also quoted that a bunch of flowers were sent to Anna's mother in New Zealand from, quotation marks, Anna. This didn't sit right with her mother. Like, it just wasn't Anna to do that run off with another man and especially not talk to her family. And it seemed like Anna and her mother had a good relationship. So, like, I know if I had an affair, my family would be the first to find out. Like, if you got a good relationship, why would you keep that? Even if there's judgment, who cares? So I'm glad she did have a feeling about it because on March 29th, she reported Anna missing to police in Dunedin, New Zealand. Apparently, the police in New Zealand contacted old mate John, and he just told them the same bullshit story. Anna had moved to a nearby suburb called Chelsea, which was about 30 minutes away from the family home with Gracie, and denied any knowledge of involvement of what was now her disappearance. Now, this little worm would keep up this act for a few months, and in May, he gave a fair few interviews and changed his tune from, oh, she ran away with a man to now she's disappeared. I don't know. But anyway, this sleaze went on TV pleading for his wife to get in contact with him and her family so they knew she was safe, stating, Anna, our marriage may be over, but I still love you, and you are the mother of our beautiful Gracie, whom we both adore more than anyone else. You need to find this video. It's just makes me mad. Police would later say that they have never seen someone act as bad as him.
Oh, I don't know if I could watch that.
Oh, you want to punch him in the face. He could barely look at the camera, so just like had his head down. And he even said, I'm afraid of not being a part of Gracie's future. Like, fuck off. Once you find out, just
that he is afraid of... He's saying too much.
He's making it out like she's run off with Gracie now as well. He also pretends to cry and was like shaking his head, being all, oh, I did not harm my daughter or my wife. Made me so mad. Her best friend, Anna's best friend, knew he had something to do with it. And especially after seeing the, pleas on TV, she was like, nah, something's not right.
Something is fishy.
Yeah. Now, also in May, because the New Zealand police were badasses and something just didn't sit right with them as well, they created like a case file and sent it over to Victoria Police to conduct inquiries of the apparent disappearance of Anna and Gracie. Good on them. I also didn't know that was a thing, that you could report someone missing in another country to your police and then they would actually go to the effort of doing a case file and sending it off to... Or maybe that's just Kiwis.
I think in particular, New Zealanders are going to be protective of New Zealanders, so I don't know if every country would do that.
Yeah. But super crazy with this case, I found anyway. So that same day, they went out to his home and spoke with him. Now, I actually listened to a super interesting podcast on him called Australian True Crime Podcast, the Mornington Monster, where I actually got a lot of info from because they were talking to a lady by the name of Narelle Fraser, who was a former detective and actually worked on this case. So it was super interesting. You got to listen to it as well. And she's so Australian. I love it. She's just the best. Now, Narelle had said that they knew something was up, like they had a gut feeling. But one thing you don't really think about is she said they had to go in with an open mind. Otherwise, you just cut yourself off from all the possibilities of what has happened, that kind of thing. She did say, which I found interesting, that apparently at the academy, maybe from her time or maybe it's still a thing, I don't know, they said the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that. Fancy boys. One thing I also found funny was that she mentioned how they wanted to get in quick and get a statement from him because apparently once or if he becomes a suspect, the whole process is different. Like they have to treat him differently in regards to lawyers, questioning, that kind of thing. So they're pretty clever about it, just kind of making friends, being like, oh, not really. Your face. No. Now, obviously, what did he do? He told them the same thing. She had run off and had an affair.
And took her daughter.
So this is back in March still, obviously, previous to him going on camera and everything like that. So the officers did take a little look around the house, maybe after letting him warm up to them, because he's all playing the victim. So one thing they noticed was his mattress was missing. Obviously, they questioned that. And he blames it on the marriage breakdown. Like, oh, I had to get rid of it because it gave me too many memories. Bitch, can I tell you how many different partners I have had in the one bed? Like, not the one time, but like... But you know what I mean? Like, do you throw out a new mattress after every relationship?
We're breaking up. I need a new mattress.
Right now.
I don't date.
Detectives also noticed that Gracie's cot was missing, which again, super weird. If you're expecting your child to come stay at your house after a divorce, surely she needs a bed.
Did he just spin a lie and be like, she took that too?
Oh, fucking on the money you are. Because again, they question. And he says he gave it to Anna as she didn't have one where she was with the new man. So he was just being the hero, It's just the real hero. John also mentioned to police that they were having relationship problems. He felt that things hadn't been good, but not so bad that, he thought she would leave him. Now, police went through his statement to see if they could find anything weird or not matching, given the rundown that he's given them. So, no evidence, so to say, at this time. They've got a gut feeling, but they need to get some, get the hard facts, get the evidence. They also, and by they... the police couldn't even confirm the affair was legit because they had access, which was, I found funny. I wouldn't even think that police would do this. They contacted her doctor to see if she'd gone for checkups or spoken about a new partner, blah, blah, blah. They looked at emails, no dating site history, none of that. Now, one weird thing was the police found out that Anna's phone was still being used as well. And so was her credit card here and there. So police were sus as fuck on him. They did end up getting a search warrant, didn't really find anything. They did, however, decide to keep him under surveillance as they found out Anna called a TV tech a few days before she went missing and spoke to him, in which, like, the police officer spoke to the TV tech, and he said, John said, no, we don't need you anymore, like, it's fine, go away. So remember earlier how I said there were a few press conferences that were made and he did a little spiel and stuff? Well, apparently the police were like, you should go on TV and plead for your wife and daughter to come home. I really like this team. Apparently he was super reluctant and wasn't sure about it. Like, I just love, you're going to love the police officers in this case. Like, they did a mint job. So back to the surveillance part. Can I just say we are so Australian? Previous Detective Fraser said, okay, so we decided to put the dogs on him. That's what she said during the podcast, and I laughed. Not the actual dogs, not actual dogs. Apparently they use that word for plain clothing police officers, like PIs, to take photos and follow people, so to say, but they're cops. Like, I know we see plain clothes sometimes and they're holding guns. Like, you'll see the ones that are in normal clothes, but they've got guns and stuff. So I'm like,
that still freaks me out.
Yeah, but I'm like, are these people just literally average Joes? Like, no weapons on them. They just look like a pedestrian walking past. Because if they're surveillance, I can't use the word.
Surveillancing?
There we go. Yeah, thank you.
You're right, though. They don't want to bring attention to themselves. If they're walking around with a gun, like holding a piece, then...
Like, that just makes me question my whole life.
Yeah. Heaven forbid they go surveying with a gun.
Can you imagine surveying me? She left her house, went to work, came home. It's the weekend now. She has not left her house. Like, she goes nowhere. Now, this guy is such a fucking dick. They followed him to, like... Okay, so this is straight after he had the press conference. He didn't know he was being followed, obviously. He went to a public bathroom in Chelsea Beach where he was seen to grab a plastic bag from a bush. Yeah, like literally public bathroom in some bushes, grabs a plastic bag.
What's in the bag?
You want to know what's in the bag? It's a phone and a credit card.
Oh, her phone and her credit card.
He makes a phone call and withdraws $200 and then puts the phone and the card back into the bag and then hides it back in the bush. It was stated that he made his way back home, contacted the police, and you know what this motherfucker said?
What?
You won't believe it, but Anna has tried to contact me and she took money out of our account. He has literally called the police to be like, oh my God.
And they're like, we know. We saw you do it.
I literally wrote, got you, motherfucker. Like, they have literally... I shouldn't be laughing, but this fucking idiot, when you see a photo of him, he's just a little worm. He goes on TV, puts this spiel on, doesn't know he's being watched, goes off, does that, and then comes out, oh my God, you won't believe what just happened. Oh, I'm pretty sure we can because we just watched you do the whole thing.
For fuck's sake.
He's a fucking idiot. So on June 22nd, 2004, police arrested Sharp for the disappearance. So not murder. They were like, we can't find anything on him.
Nobody, no crime, but they've disappeared and he's acting suspiciously.
Yeah, like no weapon. He's obviously done something, but they knew they've got to get as much as they can to get this guy. So apparently in his first interview, he stayed with the same story, didn't give anything up. So at this time, the police didn't tell him, obviously, anything that they've seen or, saw him doing the phone, that kind of thing. They just wanted to try and get him to confess, pretty much. Now, one thing these officers did, which was so smart, was they brought in John's family, as he was really close with them. Now, apparently, before the family saw John, the officers showed his family a little snippet of the video they had of John rummaging through the bag to kind of be like, we know he's done something, here's some footage, we're not trying to blindside you here, there's something up, can you go talk to him, kind of thing. Apparently, the officers left him and his family on their own just to see what would happen. And fucking like that. So apparently officers left him and his family on his own to see what would happen. So they weren't taping it, no one was in there, nothing like that. Now, it went exactly the way they hoped.
They're so smart.
How clever. The parents came out and said, John would like to speak to you. as in to the officers.
To the cops, yeah.
This is where he would confess to the murder of Anna and Gracie. He was said to have no emotion when confessing and told police he killed Anna because she was controlling and moody and that he wasn't happy with the marriage. To which, I know this is jumping ahead, but I just wanted to add it in. The prosecution later said about these claims, Anna cannot deny them. They provide neither justification nor excuse you for anything you have done. Now, as to why he killed Gracie, it seemed like he just had to be able to get away with it because he knew no one would believe Anna would run off without Gracie. Like, they wouldn't just leave her in his care. So he just saw it as got to kill her now too. But given how much he resented, it seemed like he maybe resented Gracie as well. So to me, it's also like, you're just trying to use Anna.
Well, I don't think he was prepared to be a dad to a special needs kid.
Yeah, but like that's your child. And so many people, you know, like it doesn't matter what.
But yeah. I just don't think that it's something that people necessarily plan for because they don't know that's what's going to happen, right?
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, you also don't kill your child because of that. Which I know is not what you're saying.
No, I know.
No. It's just ridiculous.
That's not me being like, he was right. Yeah. He should have done it. He didn't want to be a dad.
No.
That's not it.
No. He's just a little piece of shit. Now, I also did find a few articles, and I mean a fair few, but I don't know if this is concrete info / I didn't want to take a deep dive because it's just disgusting. But there was a few out there. So apparently some of his family members would later come out and say he killed his wife because she found out he had molested / abused Gracie, as apparently he had a history of abusing children of friends and family.
Why is it only coming out now?
So that's where I'm like, I don't know if it's concrete. It was in multiple articles.
Do you think that...
But it wasn't mentioned by the cops, or, you know what I mean?
Do you think he killed his wife because maybe she walked in on it?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. But to me, I don't know if it's concrete. I didn't want to fully dive in, but it was more than... 4 or 5 articles, they all said the same kind of thing, like after he was arrested. So it could just really be the one person telling the same story, but yeah, I just thought I'd put it in there. Sadly, it would take the police 3 weeks to find Anna and Gracie's bodies. So, as sad as it is, let's go through the timeline of this disgusting piece of shit weasel that is John.
I don't like this. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
Good.
I'm frustrated. It's one... Okay.
It's... Okay.
I have a lot of feelings.
Yeah, do you? Like Kroll the Warrior King feelings like I had?
Well, I'm going to say something that's going to sound bad, but that's not how I mean it. It's one thing to do that kind of shit outside of your home, but then and it doesn't make it right. It's fucking wrong and it's disgusting. But then to hear about someone who does that inside their home and to their child, especially after you said that part you didn't really go into detail on, which I think you're probably going to come into detail with soon, where he drank whiskey or whatever and then went into her bedroom. Just that image alone, I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, grab your nips.
And steady your hips.
His face is not loving life. So, back in 2003, John purchases a high-powered spear gun. You know, those big fuck-off looking crossbow things. He also purchased an additional spear, all from a local shop in Mornington. It was said he had never previously showed interest in spearfishing, but it was also said he practiced firing the spear gun in the family backyard. Jumping forward again to March 23rd, 2004, the night of the argument. You know how I said Anna went to sleep and John stayed up being a little bitch and thinking about the argument?
He went and he got his spear gun.
Do you know what I was about to say? He left the house and headed to the shed in the backyard and grabbed the spear gun. He headed back to his wife, who was asleep in bed, and placing the spear just a few centimeters from her temple, he fired. Now, this first shot didn't kill her, as he noticed that she was still breathing. So he fired another one. This would be the shot that unfortunately would kill her.
Hence the need to remove the mattress because it would have been covered in blood.
Even I get chills reading that again because I was just researching this case. I was like, a fucking spear gun?
Where did the second one hit her?
Well, they didn't really say, but it said, like, shot her in the head. But I mean, like, if you've shot her in the temple...
She's gonna die anyway.
Yeah, but, like, for her to still be breathing, maybe it was just... We're both touching our temples right now, trying to... That's why it's gone quiet. We're, like, trying to figure out... Because I don't know, maybe if it shot around here and it went through... maybe more so the eye, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But it made it out to sound like both shots were fired in her head. Covering her body in towels, he went downstairs to sleep on the sofa. So he covered her body, didn't want to look at it, went to bed. Now, also keeping in mind, Gracie is still in the house.
Yeah, you know, what he could have done is... ask for a separation, and then if he was happier that way, a divorce, and not killed his wife.
Yeah.
There were options.
But remember how I said he was a little bitch?
Yeah.
So it kind of sounded like he couldn't address it.
So what, this was the easier way out for him?
But also, doesn't it sound premeditated if you've bought a spear gun a year before?
And you had no inclination of wanting to go spear fishing. This guy's a dickhead.
Can't wait for everyone here to see the photos that I post on him because he's just a piece of shit. Now we go to the 24th. I don't know what order this is in, so I'm just going to assume that John first dropped off Gracie at daycare before going to his wife's body as she was still in the bedroom. John attempted to remove the spears from her head but failed. He even tried removing the shafts by unscrewing them from the head. Now, this is also the day that the repairman rocks up, and Anna's body is still upstairs.
Oh, no wonder he's like, nah, we're good. Me wife's upstairs. She's a little bit busy right now.
She's asleep. Wink. It would then be mentioned that later he would bury Anna's body in the backyard in a shallow grave. But we're not done.
Oh, so they were in the backyard?
He's put her there for
now, and then he's going to move the body. Okay.
Crosses his arms with a disgusted look on his face. Now, sometime between the 24th and the 27th, John heads back to the same shop, accompanied by Gracie, where he purchased another fucking spear for the spear gun. He took his daughter to the shop.
And I bet you this spear had her name on it too.
And it was even quoted as they were holding hands to the shop. So this is about to get even more fucked up. We're going to get into Gracie now. So I know this whole episode has a bit of a warning to it, but if you don't want to hear this part, maybe skip ahead.
Do you reckon I could put mine down and go out with you?
No, sorry. If I had to sit here and listen through Kroll, the Warrior King, you got to listen to mine.
Can I have a drink first?
Later that night, he put Gracie to bed in her cot, drank several glasses of whiskey, retrieved the spear gun from the garage, loaded it with the new spear, and headed to Gracie's room. So he's in Gracie's room. He fires the spear gun at his daughter's head. She started screaming and crying. John rushed to retrieve 2 more spears and shot her again. So he has now shot her a total of 3 times, to which she is still alive. He withdrew 1 spear from her head that would turn out to be the final blow to kill her. So he has shot her, can't even, I don't even want to make a joke of it, but then, can't even shoot her. She's screaming and crying, pulls one out, reloads it, and shoots her again. The following morning, he went back to her bedroom and was quoted as covering his face as he couldn't look at what he had done. He removed the spears from Gracie's head, wrapped her body in garbage bags and a tarp, and disposed of her body, spear gun, spears, some of her clothes, and her toys at the Mornington dump.
So the wife gets the backyard, your baby gets the dump.
Yeah, but by the sounds of it, it didn't even sound like he... I'm pretty sure he went to the actual dump with her. So Anna is currently in the backyard. He's disposed of the weapons, and poor Gracie's body has also been disposed of. So 29th of March, the day Anna was reported as missing to the Dunedin police, John went to his local Bunnings, purchased duct tape, 2 tarps, and a chainsaw. On the 30th, he would dig up Anna and cut her into 3 pieces. He would dispose of Anna's body along with the chainsaw in the same manner he did of Gracie, by going to the dump. So around this time, he gets rid of the bloodied mattress. He starts sending emails, texts, all of that stuff we said before, doing the interviews, everything, when really he has just brutally murdered his family and disposed of them in a fucking horrific way.
At a dump.
At a dump.
You're telling them they're trash. That sucks, man.
So, as I said earlier, it took over 3 weeks for the officers to find the bodies. They had a huge team scouring the dump, looking for bags/tarps. And to this day, Narelle, the officer I spoke about, said that she still gets triggered anytime she sees like a blue tarp or like, that kind of bag. So they had the huge team looking everywhere. Finally, Narelle found a bag, unzipped it, and she thought she saw a glove. She went to close it, like a kitchen glove. She went to close it and was like, hang on a second. She opened the bag again and it was an arm from the elbow down to the hand and was just white. This has been a fair few weeks, so every bag they see, they're probably like, oh, this won't be the one, which is super sad. Apparently, given the time it took to go through everything, it was said that her remains were scattered across several areas of the dump. They would also find Gracie not long after. Now, this is the happy-ish part. So this is super nice and it nearly made me cry. Both of them, by both of them, I mean Anna and Gracie, were flown back to Dunedin and buried in a gorgeous place at Green Park Cemetery under the maiden name of Kemp and along with Frances, her unborn child. I absolutely love this part as well, but apparently Gracie's birth and death certificate were altered to have the father listed as unknown.
Good.
So I just got chills. I'm like, that's so nice that even though she was married, given the circumstances, they were just like, no, we are not having that name. John appeared in the Supreme Court of Victoria, where he pleaded guilty to the murders. And on the 5th of August 2005, the court sentenced him to 2 consecutive life terms of imprisonment with a non-parole period of 33 years. So he can't apply for parole until 2038. Listen to this part and it just pissed me off. Apparently, he remains in protective custody due to the threats on his life from fellow prisoners. You little bitch ass.
So he's probably in segregation too, right?
Yep.
Put him in Gen Pop.
Yeah, right?
Put him in general population.
Given the picture as well, he's not a man that would last in prison.
No.
But it's also kind of like, I'm like, yes, okay, get brutally killed in prison, but then also live long enough and remember what you have done every day to your family, you piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And that was the Sharp family murders.
Well, I would say thank you, but I wouldn't mean it.
I was just about, got a little bit more still.
Well, I'm going to thank you even less when you are done.
I just wanted to say as well that if you do go searching and want to look into it a bit more, John was also known as the Spear Gun Killer or the Mornington Monster, but I like to call him John Little Squeaky Pathetic Bitch Ass Sharp. Thank you.
No thank you.
That was rough, hey?
Well, I didn't like it. So I'm not going to thank you for that story. I don't even know what to think.
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
I didn't like it.
On that note.
Well, have a lovely day.
Good day.
And we'll see you on the flip
Side. Bye.
Bye.